Good evening and welcome to the IRL Invictus Racing League PlayStation Formula F3 League, brought to you in partnership with Nailcoat Hall and gridfinder.com. My name is JPH and we are here at Brazil for round 1 of the brand new F3 season at Invictus Racing League. A fantastic circuit to start with, and we've got a great lineup of drivers as well. We'll go through the drivers in a minute and have a look at maybe some of their backgrounds before we get underway in the session, but a little bit about Brazil. Built in the 1940s, it's got 15 corners, 10 to the left, 5 to the right. It is an anti-clockwise circuit, meaning the front right tyre around this tricky technical course is going to be the driver's limiting factor for their race strategy. It is 4.309 kilometers, that is 2.678 miles long, and we can expect times under the 1 minute 10s. It is an incredibly fast circuit in terms of how technical it can be, especially the technical middle section where you've got the hairpins. It held its first race in 1972. It was technically an unofficial Formula 1 race, as it was not part of the championship that year, but that was won by Carlos Reutemann, and Alain Prost holds the most wins at the Brazilian Grand Prix for 6 wins in total. McLaren have the most wins as a constructor with 12, and Ferrari just behind with 11, so hopefully maybe the McLaren or Ferrari boys can continue that strong showing. Ferrari though have the most wins as an engine supplier with their 11 here at the circuit. Let's quickly go through some of the drivers. So in the Aston Martin there highlighted, we have Tinus Optionil. We're going to call him Tinus for now. Just going to quick again look at my notes. So Tinus, a long-term member, admin for the F3, always good on Saturday. So see how he goes in qualifying today. Oh, Steven 002, he's in the Ferrari. He again, a long-term member, usually races in the F3-4 category, also is part of the Realistic Performance League. Prebsy Boy 2000, we'll be calling him Prebs for the stream. He joined last season and raced F4, so relatively new to the setup, but obviously quick enough in F4 to come up to F3. Will be good to see how he gets on. We also have Craig 8728, again we'll call him Craig for short on this stream. Do we have anything for him on my notes that I got given? Yes we do. So long-term IRL member and the boss of the whole league structure. He is a race winner himself, season 11 F3 champion. That was only 2 seasons ago, and he does have a Thrustmaster setup. Jolly Jollig in the Aston Martin, going to call him Jolly for the stream. Just a quick scan. He is a new driver and a friend of Tinus. He may struggle initially with pace, but likely to improve through the season, which would be good to track that progress as we go. Russman in the AlphaTauri, Russman 88, Russman for short. He is a new driver and an unknown quantity in that respect. Sir Spud 72 in the Red Bull, we'll call him Sir Spud when we get the stream ready going. A long-term member, races in the F3 and the Realistic Performance League. Wojtek 94. Wojtek, we're calling him for short. He is in the Ferrari camp. Find my notes for him. Lots of notes for tonight. Being the new season, he's been with IRL since season 9. He's a race winner, he's a steward. He's done comms in the past. He was in the F2 last season, so we're expecting to be near the front for Wojtek this season. So look to see that Ferrari up near the front of the pack. F1 Richard 67, Richard for short in the other Alpine. Again, long-term IRL member, he has a Fanatec kit, so very nice setup. Zelko Jablic in the Mercedes. The notes I have on Zelko is, we're calling him Zelko for short. New for the season, teammates and friends with Still BL66, who we'll get down to. Probably noted that they'll probably work together and expect him to get quicker as the season progresses. Towel 92 in the Alfa Romeo. Calling him actually Towel for short. His notes read as he raced F4 last season, so slight promotion to the F3 category. JSP 1299, we'll call him JSP for short. He's in the McLaren this season. He joined at season 9. He's a constructors champion, couple of race wins on his belt, generally in the F3 category. He's got a G29 steering wheel, coordinator on the PS side of the IRL leagues. Apparently early 40s, brave man to admit that he's in the early 40s there. We've got D4VI646, we're going to be calling him David. He's in the Alpha Tauri. Nitrogash Nitro for short. He's in the McLaren. Still BL66 in the Mercedes. And Sir Spud 72 in the Red Bull. I think he's gone back out and rejoined. 15 drivers for tonight. Obviously, we are missing a couple, but not to worry too much about that. So we're going to head into qualifying. See, this is where everyone's going to be selecting their tyres, so they can go harder, softer or balanced, which means that they might have an extra set of mediums compared to others. They might have an extra set of hards or an extra set of soft tyres. All can play quite critical in qualifying, because some people may feel they have the pace to qualify on those medium tyres in the top 10. If they can do that, they might have an advantage on the rest of the field. Generally speaking, it seems like it's going to be a one-stop for this race. So we'll get everything up. So just waiting for someone to come out of the pits. We have 18 minutes on the clock for qualifying. We're going to get underway. As we'll see, the guys just putting their setups on the car ready, probably checking what the weather is doing. Be interesting to see if anyone knows what the weather is doing for tonight. And we do have, I believe that's the Alfa Romeo of Towel going out. He's going to be the first man to brave the elements of the circuit. And Wojtek also taking to the track in the Ferrari. We've got an Aston Martin, that is of Tinus. So we have 3 cars on track right now. We'll go on board with Tao, when he goes round to the start finish line for a lap of the Interlagos circuit. So he's just coming through Junkao and down through the path to the next 3 corners. Let us go on board. So here we go, down to the centre S. We're going to hit the brakes at just after the 50 board. Down to 3rd for Tao. Keep it tight because it opens up the right and the left. So you can power out, flat out, up to 7th, onto the Resta Aposta. Down to Decido del Lago. Light on the brakes, 4th gear. Use a bit of inside curb, not too much. And you can get flat through turn 5. Up to Ferrajora. Very late on the brakes. Down 1 gear. Keep it tucked in through turn 7. In. Down to 2nd gear for this hairpin right. Through Pinarino. Again, just lifting off, letting the car coast through there. Bico to Pato, slightly tighter, down to 2nd. We want to open the steering up so you can get the power down, ready for Magula. It's flat in these cars. Junkao, 50 metres, hit the brakes, down to 3rd, get it tucked in, and power your way out, up through the last few corners of turns 13, 14, and 15. Bit of DRS to end the lap, keep it to the left-hand side. But oh, Tao kept it too much to the left and that invalidated his lap. Got to be careful with that one. So Wojtek puts in a 106.9. What is Tinas going to do here? 107.7 for the Aston Martin driver. Nitric gas just coming through Junkao. We're going to see at the end of a few laps what tyres people have gone out on as Nitro comes up to the line for his first attempt. He puts in a 107.2, puts him 2nd on the grid. Craig up to the line. He's going to have to go again. F1 Richard, his teammate, puts in a 107.8, as does Sir Spud as they bicker over 4th and 5th. Zelko Jablic into 3rd, and Russman has retired from the session. It's Sector 1. Where is... Oh, and Towel just having to avoid the stricken AlphaTauri there. Looks like he's hit the wall, taken a wheel off, but the car is yet to... We can't go to Russman. It's not ideal. So Sector 3 with yellow flags, and it looks... Don't look at Stephen. He's just going through Ferrajora, the number 43. There's an Alpine on its way back to the line. He's coming into the pits. Looks at Craig. David in the other AlphaTauri. His teammate has retired from this session, so he's going to have a bit of a tough race as Russman. But David, so the number 46, heading up towards S, Pinarino, and Bico to Pato in his AlphaTauri. He's on a 108.0 so far, in 10th place. JSP has gone fastest with a 106.7. Good stuff from the McLaren. I mean, I did say the McLarens have the most wins here at the Brazilian Grand Prix as a constructor. JSP looking to continue that form. We do have a yellow flag. I don't know if that's for Craig. Yeah, Craig just obviously either preparing his lap or saving his tyres. He's on the mediums right now. He's just coming back to the pits. So whilst obviously everyone's a little bit quiet, let's have a look at the tyres that people have used so far. So JSP on the soft compound of tyre. As we have a look at Jolly going across the line, he has gone 108.1, so he's in 12th at the moment. JSP has gone soft, Wojtek soft, Nitro soft. David has gone 107.4, so he jumps up into 4th with his soft compound. Still BL 66, up into 3rd with a 106.9, again on the soft compound of tyre. The only person in the top 10 on mediums is Tina's Optional. 107.7, that's not a bad time actually on the mediums, only a second off the pace of the pole sitter, so he's definitely one to look out for come the race, because if he's got that sort of pace on the mediums now, if he starts on those mediums and goes to the softs when the fuel load is lighter, he could be quite hard to compete with on the second stint. The difference of times as Wojtek goes on to his next flying lap. 10 minutes to go in this session. So enjoying this so far. This is a great qualifying session. 1.3, well actually 1.4 splits everyone who's completed a lap so far. Towel and no Stephen yet to complete that lap. Yellow flags for the Alpine, who is letting others go. Yeah, I mean, if you are enjoying this qualifying, do like the video and the stream, and subscribe to the IRL YouTube channel. There's plenty more to come this season. There's Wojtek coming up to Junkau. What can he do? He's 0.158 behind JSP right now. Up to the line. Sets us up a 106.590. That's a great time from the Ferrari man. Up into pole position provisionally. Tinas has gone out on a set of soft compound tyres. He's going to be looking to go up the order. So spotting the pits. Where's his... I don't think we got the other Red Bull tonight. Soldier Stone. Here's the Williams of Prebsy Boy 2000. Prebs goes 7th, a second off the top time. Tina's still on that 107.6 that he's done on his mediums. Looks like Towel the only man to not have set a lap time right now in the Alfa Romeo. Does now set a time of 108.1, puts himself into 13th ahead of Craig and Johnny, although Craig puts in a great time of 107.1 for his latest attempt. Tinas across the line in the Aston Martin. Doesn't go quicker, 13 seconds off, so I'm guessing maybe just an extra warm-up lap or something of that nature. Flag in, so we're just letting, looks like, I want to say that's the Red Bull of Sir Spud, just allowing cars through. Nitro into S. One of the Mercedes allowing cars through as well for that yellow flag. Up to Biko Tapato. Number 24. McLaren as he goes through Magula. Up to Junkau. Very tidy through there. He's looking to try and get past Wojtek, who's got that 106.5 in the bag. And he comes into the pits. Yeah, JSP just starting a lap. Jolly onto the main straight in the Aston Martin. Up to the line, 108.8, so not any quicker. There's Mercedes just coming into the pits. So we're going to head back to JSP as he'll be the next person to cross the line. Six minutes remaining in the session. Free track this for JSP, which is crucial for his qualifying lap. So he heads out of Junkao up towards the start line. Crosses the line, doesn't go any quicker. Looks like that could be Prebz. Also Spud crossing the line. He puts himself into the top 10 with a 1:07.3. Tinas has gone quicker on a set of softs with a 1:07.1. So everyone's best time now, yes, done on this soft compound of tyre. So you can guarantee the top 10 will be starting on those softs as long as it's a dry race. Obviously if it's not a dry race, then they won't have to. Oh, Stephen. He's in 7th at the moment in the sister Ferrari to Wojtek. 1:07.158. Let's just have a look at these gaps here to the leader. Look at that. 1 second covers the top 11. 1.5 just over covers all of the field. That shows just how close this F3 League is going to be this year, or this season should I say. So Spud coming into the pits, as is Jolly. I think Stephen will be as well. No, Stephen carries on. He's on a flyer. 1:06.8 puts himself into 3rd place. That's a great time from Ferrari. It's a Ferrari 1.3, a McLaren 2.4. So the two most successful teams around the Brazilian Grand Prix, right at the top end of the field for season 13 of the Invictus Racing League season. Great to see his team's battling out. Here comes Craig. He's up on his time. He goes 5th, 1:06.911. Richard on an outlap. Wojtek on an outlap. A lot of people coming out now. This is probably going to be everyone's final run as they're coming out of the pits now. There's David. Tinas just coming through Magula. He's on an outlap, as is David. I think everyone on an outlap at the moment. Craig. Craig on an in-lap. Tower on an outlap. Who's that in the Mercedes? I think that's going to be Steele. Yes, it is, because Zelko in the pit lane. That's that looks like Wojtek has spun it. Yes, he has. Wojtek has spun it coming out of Bico to Pato. That is going to be his final run ruined. I don't think he's going to have enough time to come and get a fresh set of tyres. So Wojtek open now I say that, but JSPO Steven Nitro's on an outlap, so Nitro's only just come out, but he's going to have enough time to get round and do another lap, so that's good effort by Nitro. He could upset Wojtek there. That could be a crucial mistake from the Ferrari driver, as Tinas is coming through for his next lap. Puts in a 106.9, and David goes even quicker with a 106.960. Meanwhile, Jolly is about to cross the line. What can he put in? He starts a lap. Towel doesn't go any quicker, and still goes fourth quickest now, ahead of Nitro, 106.825. Speaking of Nitro, he's on an outlap. There he is. He's going to start one with 1:02 remaining. Who will be the last man to cross that line and get a lap time? The top two do not have enough. I say that as really enough. JSP comes out maybe just to get a feel for the car. What does he come out on? That's an interesting camera. So he's out on set of sauce. He's not going to get another lap in. .24 seconds remaining as that's David coming into the pits. That is, I think, Pribs finishing his latest lap. He doesn't go any quicker, though. He may have just had a second installation. 8 seconds to go, and I think, yes, I think Stephen has crashed the car. We're gonna stay here with the Williams. Yes, there he is. He spun it at the exit of Decido de Lago. Nitrogash ends up third in the end. 106.7. There's Tinas. He'll be the next man to cross the line. What can the Aston Martin here do? Yellow flag. He's backed off. He's backed off, so that is the end of qualifying for Tinas. It's going to be Prebs, the next man to cross the line. As you can see, Tinas there staying out of the way. He's getting fine as he can to there. He doesn't go any quicker. Towel into the pits, as is Jolly and Sir Spud. So that is qualifying, and it is Wojtek 94 who will claim pole position from JSP 1299, and Nitrogash rounds out your top three. A very close qualifying. There is the gaps, 1.5 separating the field. 1 second gets you in the top 12. There's no doubt about it. This is going to be a very tight race for everyone. So here is the grid for round one at Brazil. Wojtek and JSP go up on row 1. Row 2 is Nitrogash and O'Steven. Row 3 still BL and Tinas. Row 4 is Craig and David. Row 5 Zelko and Sir Spud. Row 6 Preps and Towel. Row 7 Richard and Russman. And on row 8 on his own is Jolly Jollig in his Aston Martin, although Zelko has a 5-place grid penalty which will bump drivers up. It looks dry. Just waiting for the guys. They'll be on the grid at the moment, loading in, selecting their strategies. Interesting thing in that shot is that Red Bull don't seem to have a spare front wing for their car, so they're obviously expecting a clean race for their driver, Sir Spud 72. So there will be a formation lap prior to the race start, so everyone's got to go around, warm up their tyres as the nerves build and the excitement grows. They have 36 laps of racing ahead of them. Question is, who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to be on the podium? Is there going to be anyone in that midfield who's going to surprise us, make up a load of positions? It's going to be key. Here's your predicted pit stop strategy from the game. Reckons a one stop to hards from the softs on lap 13 there, or you have a two stop between two sets of softs and a set of medium tyres. I mean, it does look a little overcast, so I think the soft tyres probably. I say it looks a bit brighter there in the sky, but it's all about that front right tyre. If the drivers can manage that front right tyre, it's going to be what helps them win. As the cars start to line up for round one of the Invictus Racing League PlayStation F3 League, brought to you in partnership with Nailcoat Hall and gridfinder.com. We are getting ready to get underway for the first time in season 13. The drivers are there, the nerves are building. 36 laps. We have 5 red lights. We are underway at Brazil for the first time this season. It's a great start from Wojtek. He's going to keep the lead going into the Senna S for the first time. Further behind, you got the McLaren of JSP. We got someone going slightly wide. We're towards the mid-pack, David. And that looks like Tinas, yes it is, battling it away. Although Craig looking for a move, couldn't quite do it going into Descida del Lago. And it looks like we've got a good clean getaway here in Brazil, which is a great effort from all the boys. I say that as that looks like Sir Spud. Yes, Sir Spud has had a small incident at Descida del Lago. But at the front it is Wojtek with a 9, well it was 9/10, it is still 9/10 going out of Bica to Pato. Towel is going down. He's down to 12th behind Russman and Zelko. And Jolly's also had an incident, he's down to 15th. And last, Wojtek crosses the line, he leads the first lap. And we have a slight glitch in our timing system because Wojtek is in the lead. Just quickly, hopefully that will sort itself out in a minute. Meanwhile, with Craig, he's looking at the back of, that looks like the Ferrari of O'Steven. Yes it is, and as the time screen gets back on track. Again, the predicted pit stop strategies there by the game. And early pit stop for Sir Spud and Jolly. Obviously maybe having wing damage as a result of their earlier incidents. But Wojtek continues to lead the way in the Ferrari. Sender Juncal still has had a good start in 4th. So we're going to have a little bit of a battle on our hands between Craig, David and Tina soon. as Wojtek puts in a 109.2. DRS enabled. Meanwhile, Russman gets past Prebz in the AlphaTauri, but he's going to have him right on his tail with DRS this time, down the Reto Aposta. Position changes on the tower. A little bit wide from Russman, but Prebz not able to capitalise, and in fact Prebz is actually under pressure here from Zelko. Zelko round the outside of Ferraggiuri. You cannot do that, surely. He doesn't, he actually spins in the process, just clips the grass. That was a hell of an effort from Zelko Jablic, but unfortunately just not really an overtaking place is Ferraggiuri around the outside, and he's unfortunately paid the price of clipping that grass and the car swapping ends on him. That's giving Russman a nice little gap. But he is the driver that has made it the most places. 4 places from the start. He started 13th, now running in 9th. As it looks like Craig and O'Stephen battling it out. O'Stephen should have DRS because the detection is through the centre S. Oh, that is a bit of carbon fibre off someone's car, I believe. It is going to be David's car that's come off of. Yes, you can see the right-hand end plate of his front wing is off the car. That's going to cause him all sorts of issues. You see understeer galore through Ferraggiuri. That allows Tinas through into 7th place with the Aston Martin. It just looked like O'Stephen was slow coming out of the centre S. Maybe a wobble clipping the curb. Fortunately, David nowhere really to go. Clips the back end, loses the right end fence. As we're heading up towards lap number 5. Wojtek still leading the way. It looks like Towell and F1 Richard are close. This could bring in DRS into play between these guys. David in the pits, obviously, with that damaged wing. Richard not quite able to get past the FME. He runs a little bit deep into the centre S. That's going to probably ruin the chance going down the Reto Aposta. Meanwhile, O'Stephen under pressure from Tinas now. Tinas only half a second away from the Ferrari drivers. They head through Ferraggiuri. On board with the Aston Martin. So we head through Bico de Pato, Magula, and down to Juncao. O'Stephen just looks like he's trying to get that move made on Craig at some point, trying to look for a door. He's probably compromising himself too. Yes, he is. You see the difference in speed. That tighter line not helping him. We have DRS on board with Tinas. Into the centre S. See the hot air blowing off the back of the Ferrari there. This isn't good for the Aston Martin's tyres. They're just going a little bit wider. Whether that's just his normal racing line or just trying to get out of the warm air to get those tyres as damage limited as possible remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Steele is now on the back of both McLarens. And we have, I think that is Jolly. Yes, Jolly has spun at Juncao. And I get the feeling Sir Spud was involved because he slowed right down. Back to the midfield battle between Craig and O'Stephen. That looks like a slightly better Juncao corner for O'Stephen. Still not good enough, I don't think, though. And that's Towell. He's had an issue through Magula. Probably clipping the curb. Stephen gets close with DRS. Probably smart to leave it to after centre S though, although he's not had the greatest of first few corners. Meanwhile, the two McLaren drivers Looking like they were having a bit of a swap going to Decida de Lago, and that's brought still right into play. The Mercedes on the tail end of these two McLarens. They have to work together here to pull away. See these two battles really spicing things up. It looks like Steele's car probably better in the slightly faster stuff, I would suggest. You can't quite hang on to the back of the McLarens through that second sector, but from Juncao down to Decida de Lago, that's where he is strong. And David has picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cut warnings, I'd assume. Nitro has a peek at his teammates' wing mirrors. Meanwhile, behind, Craig still fending off O'Steven here whilst we're on lap number 8. And Tinas, what's happened to him? Tinas has dropped back. He's actually spun it, sorry. He hasn't just dropped back, he's lost the rear end through the centre S, and that Towel lets him get going. And the safety car is out. Sir Spud has crashed at the centre S. So Sir Spud crashing at the centre S brings out the full course safety car. So now everyone running to a delta. One stop for David and Jolly. Here are the tyres at the moment. Everyone on 7 laps apart from David, who had to have an early pit stop. He's on the softs. Tao started on the hards, as did Prebz. And we're going to see a flurry of pit stops. This Jolly Jolly has retired from the session as well. That's a shame. As oh dear, Steele has sped in the pit lane. Both McLarens staying out on track though. I'm very surprised that McLaren didn't split strategies here. Bring one car into the pits, because now they're going to have to pit under green flag conditions. Oh, Steven hasn't pitted either. Prebz coming through. Wojtek comes out in 4th place then. Prebz up to 5th. Richard in 6th. Towel in 7th. David, he's into 10th. Remember, though he's completely out of sync anyway. But those that have 8 laps, now you'd have to say are out of sync with the general race, unless they feel that going to the mediums now, I mean, Wojtek's gone to the hards. I mean, the predicted strategy was around 13 laps from soft to hard, so it's a long way to go. Even with this safety car period being, if it was to be three laps, it's a long way to go to get from lap 11 to lap 36. So maybe the McLarens are relying on the soft compounds getting up to temperature quicker to build a slight gap. In order to try and start nullifying the earlier one-stop strategy from Wojtek. On to lap 10 of this Invictus Racing League F3 race from Brazil, brought to you in partnership with Nailcoat Hall and gridfinder.com. We've just had the first safety car of the season. The McLarens are leading. They have not pitted on the soft compound. If you've just joined us, if you have just joined us, obviously, amazing start to this race. We've had Sir Spud crash at the centre S. Jolly Jolig has retired from the session, but Sir Spud bringing out the safety car, causing a massive pit stops. And the McLarens staying out. I mean, you've got to love this action. Oh, and Craig Craig has retired from the session. Safety car in this lap. We're going to get underway with more action, and if you're loving this action so far, just don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel. There is plenty more racing to come this season. They're also, you can also follow them on Twitter, where they post out the results. But we are about to get underway. JSP bolts away to restart this race onto lap 11. So they all head through the Senna S for the first time on the restart. And that's a great start from JSP. Almost a second ahead of Nitro Gash already. He was having to fend off Steven. Very big shame for Craig. I'd like to know what happened actually for Craig to retire. Because he was going to have a great battle with Tinas and Steven at the earlier stage of this race. Maybe external factors playing a part. But Tinas has got past Towel. Towel actually losing a place to Russman. What a move round the outside. That was round Pinarino. Round the outside from Russman. Fantastic stuff from the AlphaTauri. Zelko is currently last of the runners so far. And it was only a matter of time before Wojtek got past his teammate of O'Steven. O'Steven not going to hold up that Ferrari. Releases Wojtek to the McLarens. I think the McLarens are probably messed up here in terms of strategy, but we shall see, because those hearts may well be quite warm come the end of this race. Richard on the medium compounded tyre has David just behind him. Meanwhile, Russman is on the back of Tinas, heading through Ferragora. Wojtek starting to close the gap to Nitro, down to 9/10. Remember, no DRS yet until lap 14. After Juncal. No, DRS is now enabled, sorry. So, this lap DRS enabled. Tina's under pressure, although David looking to the outside of Richard into Senna S. What a move! Oh no! And Richard spun it. Clipped the curb. Car goes round, and that's rain. I can see spots of rain here. This is maybe what the McLarens were holding out for. This brings their strategy right into play. Russman has got past Tinas, but we have rain. JSP has a 3-second time penalty. That is crucial for the end of this race, because that cannot be served in the pit stops. That will have to be served after the race. Wojtek only half a second away from Nitro Gash. Rain falling here at Brazil. On board with the Ferrari. You can see Nitro Gash ahead. And they've caught up to the back of JSP. Oh, Steven has come into the pits. And that is his race, effectively probably over in terms of getting up to the top 5 now. So it is raining, but not hard enough to warrant going in for any sort of wet compounder tyre yet. But if this is what the McLarens were hoping for, that is Zelko. Zelko is out of this race. We go to Towel. There he is. Yes, he's out. Crashed. this has become a rate of attrition for the Brazilian Grand Prix. That is 4 retirements so far. Meanwhile, David, on his newer medium compound tyre, is gradually roped in Prebz. Let's go to the front just to see if there's any movement there. No, David up alongside the Williams, gets through before he gets to the Senna S. And the AlphaTauri up into the top 5. He's got 3.5 seconds though to cover to get to Steele. Meanwhile, Nitro now, there's 2 options here between that you can think of as a commentator. The unlikely one is these 2 are battling for that race lead. The more realistic one being that they're going to be working together right now to keep Wojtek behind. Meanwhile, Prebz is currently trying to fend off Russman. You see the amount of grip Russman has at the moment on those fresher mediums. Prebz has been on those hards from the start of the race. Oh, this has got to be done deal now, hasn't it? Although I say that, let's look at the front because Nitro Gash side by side for the McLarens, and JSP just decides to let him go through. Probably the wise idea. Meanwhile, Prebz gets overtaken by Russman, also into the Senna S. This is quite a hot spot for overtaking with the DRS in play. And it looks like Wojtek was looking at the back of JSP going into Desida de Lago. Now the question is, have the McLarens deliberately done that swap because Nitro has more pace and there's more chance if JSP can hold up the Ferrari of Wojtek, then Nitro can gain that gap. And when he does come in for his tyres, because right now it is raining but not hard enough to warrant the intermediates. So right now the McLarens still have to pit. As though Stephen back into the pits. What is he going for? He's actually now got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, Stephen took a gamble. That's what it was. Stephen took the gamble. And JSP now into the pits. Still on the back of Wojtek, 0.5 of a second. JSP rapidly going down. As he's in the pit lane, getting a fresh set of boots. Still BL66 on the back of Wojtek. JSP comes out into 9th place. What has he gone on to? He's come back out on a set of softs, so he's going for a double soft stint again. Maybe hoping for this rain, as though Stephen gets a 3-second time penalty now. So he's up to 8 seconds worth of penalties so far. You see here, oh, that's close between Still and Wojtek. Still down the inside up towards the Senna S. This is going to get close. Russman has retired. He has crashed. And it's brought out a second safety car in this race. Just want to see. Yes, there is Russman. He has crashed on the inside corner of the final few corners. This is a blessing for JSP right now, as David now comes into the pits. A second safety car has arrived at the Brazilian Grand Prix here at Invictus Racing League. That is the 5th retirement of the day. And that means that the remaining drivers just need to finish this race. If they finish the race, they will get points here. Everyone behind him is going to have 0. Nitro comes in for his pit stop, and Wojtek in as well. Interesting that Steele has decided to stay out. He joins up to the back of the safety car. So we've had Prebz is still out there. Oh, this is going to be interesting because Steven is a lap down right now. Steven's out of place in that queue, but he won't get waved around. The game does not allow that. Nitro in 3rd, Wojtek 4th, Davis. Oh, JSP is retired. I've only just noticed that, but JSP out of this race, and now we've got 9 runners left in this race. Rate of attrition tonight is incredible. These changeable conditions catching a few cars out, and the thing is, if this rain's to continue and get harder, this is going to bring Prebz into play. He's on the hard compound, he has not stopped yet. It's just a matter of whether this rain is going to be hard enough to actually bring into effect the intermediate tyres. We've seen O'Steven try it, and it didn't work. Remember, only the top 10 score points. So everyone here is going to be scoring points as long as they meet the required race distance to be eligible for that. We're going to have another lap of safety car here on lap number 20 of the Invictus Racing League F3, brought to you in partnership with Nailcoat Hall and gridfinder.com. Unbelievable action right now. If you've only just joined us, this is the second safety car of the race. Both of them have pretty much been about 10 laps apart. First one came out on about lap number 8. This one out on lap number 19 of 36. This without doubt a crazy Brazilian Grand Prix. So let's have a quick look whilst they're still going around. The tyres. Interesting choice. This is where it gets very interesting. Steel is still out on 11 lap old soft compound tyres. Prebz is on 20 lap old hard tyres. Nitro's gone for mediums. He feels he's not yet ready for intermediates. Wojtek has taken a gamble. He's gone intermediates though, along with David. So those two believe it is about right, and the rain's going to come down hard enough for the start of the restart that intermediates are going to work. Tinas is on softs, Towel on softs, Richard on softs, Stephen on the hard compound tyres. Safety car is in this lap though. And still, with a car between himself and Prebz on those old tyres, and the question is, will the gamble pay off for Wojtek? We come up to the line, and he is gone. We are green again here in Brazil. Still leads us away. And immediately, Stephen will need to allow those cars through. I don't know whether the ghosting is on for back markers though. And that looked like a bit of a wiggle from Wojtek. Oh, that's a spin for Prebz. Oh, and that is Tinas. I think Tinas has gone into him. Prebz has spun and Tinas has collected him. That is Tinas out of the race. On the restart, could that be another safety car? Because he is stranded in the middle of the circuit. It's just yellow flags at the moment in sectors 1 and 2 down the Retta Aposta. Steele is leading this race by 1.8 seconds from Nitro. Wojtek on those intermediates. We're going to stay green here at Brazil. We're keeping on Wojtek. Stephen will let Wojtek through, so Stephen now goes into the pit. Oh, a little bit of an interesting 9. Can we have... Doesn't look like we can have the best lap, the last lap available. Prebz has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We're going to keep an eye on this battle. This is for second place at the moment. Towel is gradually getting onto the back of David, but this is interesting news. Nitro on the mediums, Wojtek on the intermediates. Wojtek not being dropped, although I say that, he doesn't look like he's got much grip through the corner there at Ferrajora. And Steele, on those soft compound tyres, is just building that gap right now. Meanwhile, Towel in 5th place. He is up 6 positions so far. He started in 11th, he's up to 5th. 8 cars remain. We have had half the field decimated, as I think we've had a spin. Nitro's had a mistake through Junkao. DRS is unable, so interesting that the stewards are happy to allow DRS in these changeable conditions. Nitro is in the pits. I'm going to keep an eye on the gap between Towel and David. I want to see what tyres intermediates going on for the McLaren. So is it now becoming time? Still with a 3-second penalty. What are these penalties? And we've had Steele out of the race. There he is. He spun to the inside. And the 3rd safety car of the day comes out at Brazil. Let's quickly go to on board a Nitro gas. Heading through Desida de Lago. No, he's just gone. But he was down on the right hand side. See the marks there. Steele has probably clipped the curb at the exit of Desida de Lago. Spun it to the inside. Popped the wheel off the car. And then there were 7. These changeable conditions, I mean, surely now people are going to have to go in for intermediates at the very least, because we've seen 2 cars now. As I say that, Wojtek is in the pit and he's been given a 5-second penalty for speeding. What's he coming in for? Is he coming in for a fresh set, or is he coming in for a front wing? A fresh set of intermediates it is. This leaves David in the lead on his intermediates. He's going to catch up to the safety car. Towel decides it's still okay for soft tyres right now. Nitro, intermediates. So Towel, the only man now. The only man on dry tyres is Towel on that soft compound. So he still thinks it's good enough, although I'm looking at that track and I would definitely suggest it is too wet for the dry tyres. Amazing scenes here at Brazil. 3 safety cars in the space of 24 laps. I mean, this safety car brought out just 3 laps after the previous one, caused by still BL66 spinning and crashing at Descida del Lago. Absolute carnage. See there, Richards made 4 stops this race. Penalties. Oh, Wojtek has a drive-through. He must have sped under safety car then. So Wojtek with a drive-through. He's just been given a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I wonder if I can... Has he just pitted though? Of course, you're not allowed to serve your drive-through under safety car. It has to be under green flag conditions. So he's just come in for a pit stop. He's down to 5th. He's going to be behind F1 Richard although Richard's not exactly catching up to the safety car pack. He's in no man's land there in 6th place. Absolutely incredible scenes. I mean, this action's got to be worthy of 15 likes on the stream so far. 3 safety cars. How many times are you going to see this? This is changeable conditions. David with a 3-second penalty so far. Prebz 5 seconds. Oh, Steven at 3 seconds. I believe Wojtek has a drive-through and possibly 5 seconds worth of penalties. This is carnage. Absolute carnage. We have 7 cars left in this race. Started with 15. The only team to have 2 cars still running is the Ferraris of Wojtek and O'Steven. O'Steven is actually a lap down as well. We're going to have another lap of safety car, so 3rd lap of safety car. Burt and Myland are almost like they're trying to get Richard back into the contention with the pack. Don't think it's quite going to happen. Towel is still out there on dry compound. He's still on that soft compound. If he gets this right, it could be an incredible move, but I think he's now too wet for him, and I think he's now thinking he's missed his boat. He's missed the boat to get onto those intermediates with that free pit stop. So he's probably thinking, I'm going to try and stick it out with the softs, and if it doesn't work, I'll just have to come into the pit. Safety car, I believe, will be in this lap. If you're liking the race so far and you want to keep up with everything that Invictus are doing at the moment, do make sure you check out all their socials. They are on Twitter. They have their main account, Invictus RL, but they also have the PlayStation, Xbox and PC accounts to keep up to date with the various console side, the various consoles, PC side, more specific to those leagues in general. But here in Brazil for the F3 on PlayStation, we are about to get underway for the third restart of the day. As, oh my word, that's a huge crash for Towel. How is he not taking a wheel off? That's incredible. The Alfa Romeo is built like a Nokia phone by the looks of that. That should have been complete terminal failure of the front wheel. No, just the front wing. I think he's got away with just the front wing anyway. Meanwhile, Wojtek on the back of his own teammate, lapping him. Yeah, just a front wing gone for the Alfa Romeo. How has he got away with that? The rear was lit, the car went sideways into the inside pit wall. Big accident. I think he might be in 6th right now, and the race is gone from him in terms of maybe a top, a potential podium. However, Prebz has made a slight mistake, I think, and Wojtek's taken the opportunity to get past. But he does have that drive-through penalty to serve still. He's got another 2 laps to do it. Yeah, I think Towel will consider himself very lucky that he is still in this race with that incident. Down to 7. We're going to have a slightly spread field right now after that restart. Nitro will be looking to decrease that gap between himself and David here on lap number 29. Just 17 laps to go, including this one. Towel has been serviced in the pit lane. Richard now not too far behind Prebz. The Alpine driver looked like nowhere from the initial safety car period. Also, obviously managed to gain a little bit of time from mistakes from everyone. He himself on that intermediate compound. I'm expecting, yeah, everyone on the intermediates. David's been on his for 10 laps, but bear in mind about 3 of those have been on under the safety car period. Wojtek in the pits, that'll be to serve his drive-through. You'll see the Ferrari just go straight through the pits, no pit stop at all. And he's got a very large task at hand to get back up to the back of F1 Richard and Prebzy Boy if he does want to get that podium, but he's got 7 laps to do it. Seven laps to do it. Nitro closing in here on David. Here on lap 30 of the Invictus Racing League PlayStation F3. Oh, David's gone round. David round at that is Bico to Pato. Lit the rears up and around he goes. Prebzy Boy gets past him as well. So Prebz up into 2nd place of this race. He's gone up 8 positions this race, as has Richard. Prebz looking at a potential 2nd place here at round number 1 in the Williams. And now David under attack here from Richard. Richard has a look to the inside, can't quite make anything work there. Nitro's gone, he just has to get to the end of this race now, no mistakes required. Richard has just lost a bit of time through the centre S, unable to carry the momentum. David will be looking to get his head down in this IRL PS F3 League, brought to you in partnership with Nail, Coat Hall and Gridfinder.com, because 2nd place still on the cards for the AlphaTauri driver. Tower's got a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners by the looks of it. Obviously strict corner cutting, so you've got to keep all 4 wheels within the white lines. Let's go on board here with David through Bico de Pato, where he spun it last time around in this changeable conditions race. Expecting to use a bit of overtake. I'm looking at the steering wheel. Yes, there it is. He's using some overtake down the main straight. Can't find a gap into the centre S. On lap 32 we go. This time, surely, down the Retta Aposta. Inside of Desida. Yes, he does. Gets through on the inside of Desida de Lago. David through. Prebz under attack now from Richard through Ferrajura into S. Richard looks to the inside, can't quite find the room. This is fantastic racing. Between the Invictus Racing League boys, and just a note to put in everyone's mind: Wojtek only 3 seconds behind this squabbling duo. This is going to be interesting here for the podium. Prebz is trying to keep hold of the podium onto lap 33. He's got 0.4 of a second to Richard, but Prebz does have a time penalty. Richard does not. So right now, and Richard alongside coming down towards Desida de Lago. We can't quite see it because the camera angle we've been given. Can't quite get the move done though. Backed out of it. That is Stephen, and Prebz has been giving another time penalty there. Wojtek right on the back of Richard coming into Junção. We're going to have 3 laps remaining. Nitro goes on to lap 34. He has got an 8.4 second gap to David, who in turn has a 3.6 second gap to Prebz, who has 1.3 over Wojtek and Richard. Wojtek looks to the inside now. Richard not really defending, looking for the... Oh, collision going into this NS. They bang wheels. And Wojtek goes through. So Wojtek into 4th. He's 1.1 away from Prebz. And closing fast. A podium not out of the picture for Wojtek. I don't know. Let's have a look at penalties. 8 seconds for Prebz, 5 for Wojtek. So Richard needs to be within 5 seconds here of Wojtek to get back ahead of him in terms of penalties served. David moved up 6 positions. Prebz 7, Richard 7, Towel 5. So Towel still going to get good points here just for finishing the race. Here comes Wojtek, up to the back of Prebz, up into the centre S, to the outside. Looks to switch again. Oh, what a move. Switched and switched, went round the outside of the exit of the centre S, although Prebz immediately looking back to the inside of Desida de Lago can't make anything work. And because he's tried that inside line, he loses the momentum. Wojtek builds a 0.7 of a second gap, but I think he now has an unassailable 5.2 seconds to David, whilst Prebz is now under attack from Richard once again. The Williams and the Alpine fighting over the same piece of tarmac once again. Richard, the only man without a penalty to his name, as is Nitrogash. Nitro about to start the last lap. Across the line, Richard to the outside. Ooh, gets the move done. That says to me that maybe Prebz didn't quite have the overtake mode he wanted. Richard had more overtake to use, because you only normally see that sort of move happen. I think Towel spun it out of Beaker to Pato. You don't normally see that move done in the dry when it's under DRS conditions. But Prebz now down to 5th place. Wojtek has reduced the gap to 3 seconds to David, but I still don't think it's going to be enough, so we're going to focus on this man, Nitrogash. What a topsy-turvy race this has been in the Invictus Racing League PlayStation F3 for round 1 here at Brazil, but it will be Nitrogash who wins here at Brazil to open his account with a win for Season 13. David, a fantastic drive from the AlphaTauri man. He comes home in 2nd place. A great drive. Wojtek, fantastic to come back to 3rd place. Great effort. Richard takes the podium. Prebz in 5th. He crashes after the line. Tao still going round at the moment. Oh, Stephen comes home for 7th. Richard will get a podium. Amazingly, he kept within those 5 seconds by 0.8 of a second. He kept inside the 5-second window of Wojtek to claim a podium. So Wojtek does not take a podium tonight. Hopefully we're looking at Tao. There he is. Tao going to come home for 6th. He's just, I mean, he's very lucky to still be in the race, if I'm completely honest. And there we go. An unbelievable race here at Brazil. I've earned a trophy for spectating a race. Amazing to watch this, really. Absolutely incredible scenes. There's your podium though. So your podium there going to be Nitrogash, David and Richard. We're going to get them in for the podium interviews. There's problems coming to the party. We don't want to give you the blue screen that the PlayStation gives you unless it's the end of the stream. But there are your results. We've got David in. We'll just wait for the others to join. The winner, Nitrogash, just joining us, and hopefully Richard will be able to join us as well. But whilst we wait for Richard to come over, Nitrogash, we'll start with you. What a topsy-turvy race. I mean, at one point you'd made a crucial error, and you'd have had to think you'd lost that race.
I was thinking I need to go to Invictus, and then obviously I lost it on the last corner, and that sort of made my mind up for me. But then looking at the safety car, so that's not what
Yeah, I say. I mean, 3 safety cars are a little bit unusual in my viewing of F1 games in general. But what was going through your mind with the rain coming down? You're fighting for the lead. You've got spits of rain. How is it that you know when exactly to go to? Because Wojtek took the gamble, and initially it looked like it was a bad decision, and then it gradually turned out that, hang on, he may be onto something. When we move to David, second place, I mean, did you expect a podium going into tonight?
Not today, mate. No, not at all. I think I just got very, very lucky, especially with the first safety car. I caught Stephen in turn 3, but I just didn't anticipate the closing the speed and kind of nicked a little bit of my front wing off. So I had to box really early, about lap 5, lap 6. So the first safety car saved me really. And when the second one came out, I was just boxing for inters. And again, I thought at first a little bit too early. But 4 or 5 laps behind the safety car, and then I was competing with the soft runners on the inters. So I thought, well, we've got a chance here. So yeah, surprised.
No, yes, I mean, quite a high attrition rate as well tonight, so obviously just finishing the race, obviously a very, very good achievement in itself. But it looked like you were going to have a great battle at the start of the race, and just generally you picked up little battles here and there. How much pressure was on those tiny battles? I mean, they could only last for maybe 5 laps sometimes at a time, but those are very crucial to get right.
Yeah, well, to be fair, you can trust the other lads. So I mean, I was in a battle at first with Craig and with old Stephen. So I knew we'd be safe. I knew everything was okay. Like I say, I just didn't anticipate the closing speed that I got in turn 3, which nicked the end of the wing off. Some other good battles. Like I said, I was catching people out because I boxed early to replace my wing and to box the mediums. Obviously, I was a little bit quicker. So, like I said, it was just a case of a bit lucky with the safety car. Really, that pretty much made my race.
Absolutely. We'll go to Richard. Congratulations, mate. 3rd place for you. Again, I suspect a bit like David, a little bit unexpected. How hard were you pushing on that last lap, though, to keep within that 5-second window of Wojtek?
I was pushing really hard. You hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah. Yeah, all good.
Yeah, I was pushing really hard. I even stuck the overtake button on where I shouldn't have, and I thought, oh, I've blown it now. But then as I was coming up the hill and I saw it was like 4.3, I thought, I'm still in here. So, but that was mayhem, it was absolute carnage. I think for the F3 League that was a proper baptism of fire, it really was. I think I must have made 4 pit stops.
I think you made 4 or 5, yeah. Just judging on my screen. And again, I guess similar to the others, obviously the very changeable conditions for yourself. But when the 3rd safety car was out, you were obviously quite far behind the pack. And if I'm completely honest, I wasn't expecting you to really catch up to the back of the field. I don't think you really did. But how much did having that 3rd safety car help you, even though you were that far behind, trying to catch up to them?
Yeah, it was a massive help, and I couldn't believe that I actually didn't catch the pack when it was time to race again. It was unbelievable, that was. and it was just concentrate and just get on with it. But I thought it was going to be more rain during the race when I looked at the weather forecast, and I must have read that wrong. So I'd got quite a high downforce set on for the rain, because I thought it was going to be sort of 80-90% sort of light rain throughout the race. So I was a bit gobsmacked when we started on dries. But yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with that podium. Yeah, totally unexpected.
We'll end the interviews with Nitro again. Obviously, I've congratulated us. I mean, it's a massive congratulations to you for winning. I do have to know though, what was going through you and JSP when that first safety car came out? Because I was expecting one of you to pit on a split strategy, because obviously if you both boxed, you would have been double stacked.
Yeah, I was expecting him to pit, so when he didn't, I sort of was like, well, that's sort of locked into staying on this then. And then as the safety car went in from that one, I saw the first few specks of rain, so I was thinking, okay, well, we might be okay here if he goes a lap before me or a lap after me, it'll work out. But obviously, as Richard said and Deb said, it didn't get very wet very quick, which is quite different from the last generation of the game. Obviously, it would get quick and dry quite fast, but this seemed to take forever. I mean, I'm delighted to win, but I feel bad for Wojtek. I mean, obviously he took the gamble on the inters and then he got a drive-through, so I don't know what that was for, whether that was safety car related or what.
I believe it was for safety car, speeding under safety car.
Yeah, he definitely had the speed, and he was getting away from us. So I'm gutted for him, but delighted to win, obviously.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me in the interviews. You may stay if you want, but we will be ending the stream very, very shortly. But generally, as a general recap for everyone, if you've just joined and missed the race, we had 3 safety cars in 36 laps. More 3 safety cars in about 21 laps, to be fair. We had a field of 15 reduced to 7 by the end of the race. It was an incredible finish. Wojtek couldn't quite get the win with a drive-through penalties to serve, and it was Nitro Gash who took the victory, with David just behind and Richard hanging on to third by staying within a 5-second window of Wojtek. An absolutely unbelievable changeable conditions race, even with only 7 finishers. It was action packed. Don't forget to, if you did, obviously like and share the stream, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel. There is more racing to come this week. We have the first round of the Realistic Performance League, where the drivers drive the cars and it is not equal performance. They will be kicking off at Brazil tomorrow. That's on the PlayStation. I believe there's also PC League after that, also to come on the channel. So do hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click your notifications to be notified when the IRL do go live with their various streams and leagues. Next week we head down under to Australia for the Australian Grand Prix at Melbourne. That is obviously next week. Obviously we've got the F1 League on the Monday, the F2 on the Tuesday. We are back with more F3 action on Thursday, so do join us again next week for more F3 action. It's going to be fantastic, that race. I think it'll be dry this time for next week, being down under. But from myself, this has been round 1 of the Invictus Racing League PlayStation F3 League, brought to you in partnership with Nailcoat Hall and gridfinder.com. But for myself and all the drivers here at Invictus Racing League, thank you all for watching tonight. Do join us again next week for more F3 action. But for now, goodbye.